Yeah.
I'd like to say thank you very much for your talk. My name's Michael. There were 2 points that you raised that I think are very important for us to pay attention to. One point you made about sparing the rod and spoiling the child, and basically the poisonous pedagogy that continues to transmit very dysfunctional and hurtful child-rearing practices, and how our government is failing to take any action in improving how children are reared in our country. Another one that's currently going through our political system and that threatens the very justice system that made sure that insight was respected and acknowledged as being a benefit to society is Bill C-10, which is basically going to impose upon the justice system, is going to force them to give mandatory sentences to people for crimes that do not deserve any kind of the level of punishment that the government is doing. So there's an end run that's going around politically right now by the government to try and thwart the justice system that actually protects us. And I think people should really take issue with that. That's going through the Senate at the moment. It's gone through second reading. It's being reviewed. And this is our real last opportunity as a population to speak up and say our government can do better for us.
So how do we do that?
Contact the senators that are involved in the committee. There's a committee that's reviewing. If you go to the website, the Government of Canada website, and look at what's going on within the Senate, they list the names of all the senators. If you like, I have a website or I have an email with all of their email addresses, and you can contact them directly with your statement to implore them to make changes to this, to amend it or amend the bill or stop it altogether. So this should not become enacted in law. And mandatory sentences supposedly to protect us and provide us with safe streets and communities will be there.
And what bill again?
Bill C-10.
Thank you.
Sorry, I got one here.
Me?
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Hi. I have a question. First of all, thank you. Your talk has been very informative. I've been addicted to crack and heroin for 30 years, and I have a obsessive-compulsive disorder. Do you feel that with OCD it's much harder for someone like myself to come off of drugs?
I think that it's an aggravating condition. It might make it harder. I don't like to give sweeping answers because these things are person-specific.
Okay, well, I've heard this. That's why, it's never
And
occurred to me.
I think I have Tourette's syndrome. It came out of me when I was about 14, and that made me a higher risk. Statistically, we don't know what causes Tourette's. I have a mild case. It's not a hard case. I found that I was very hyper often, and at an early age, I learned that a six-pack of false courage would give me the guts to approach a girl that I liked, or to stand up for myself. I leaned on it, And when I had to learn, it was scary. But I'm standing in front of 100 people right now, and I'm pretty damn confident. And I've got no beer in me. So it can be done. As for how hard it will be for you, I don't know you well enough to say. I honestly don't. But yeah, the OCD would aggravate a lot of things. You need to take it both into account.
And I just want to make a statement. I mean, I've heard the word disease thrown around a lot with tradition. I personally come to realize that I have a I heard Dr. Matei speak once, and I remember I went to a 12-step group that night, and I didn't identify myself as an addict. I identified myself as a woman who experienced childhood trauma and needed to ingest substances to get over that. So I really liked that switch around. I believe that I have, I know for a fact that I've been traumatized all my life. I was one of those 90% of women who ended up in the downtown east side. So I totally believe that this is all trauma-based. I'm a living proof of that. And I thank you both. I really enjoyed your talk.
Thank you.
Thank you. Back to the whole premise of your book, I would just like to say I work in an addiction center, and I see daily, on a daily basis, the difference it makes in someone's life when you treat them with respect, you have empathy, they're treated no differently than anyone else, and one by one, if that happened, this would make a huge difference. And I really applaud you for your work. What a great idea.
I just want to, before I take on another question, I want